Did you know that forgetting one comma in your reference list or missing a single parenthesis in your essay can be flagged as plagiarism? It sounds intense, but it happens to the best of us. Whether you are a student, researcher, or content creator, failing to properly cite your sources can ruin your grade or your reputation. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to master in-text citations and create flawless reference lists so you never have to panic about academic integrity again. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, please go and subscribe. And if you've been watching my content and you haven't subscribed, please you also go and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification so that every time I upload new content you can know. So in this video we're going to learn about in-text citations. So in-text citations are brief references placed within the body of an academic paper, often called parenthetical citations or narrative citations, that immediately identify the source of a quote, paraphrase, or idea. They include details like the author and that's for APA, or page number, that's for MLA, allowing readers to locate full source information in the bibliography. So why cite? Citing is important because it gives credit to the intellectual property of original authors and honors their contributions to the field. It also avoids plagiarism because proper citation protects you from accusations of academic dishonesty, which can lead to failed grades or even expulsion. It builds credibility. Using reputable sources shows you have done thorough research, making your own claims more persuasive and trustworthy. It provides a research trail because it allows readers to find the original works if they want to explore the topic further or check your facts. It shows your originality. By clearly marking what belongs to others, you highlight which parts of the paper are your own unique ideas and analysis. So let's look at APA, which is the American Psychological Association in full. So APA was created by the American Psychological Association, so it is the go-to for any field that relies on empirical research, that's experiments and data, where the data of the study is very important. It can be used in social and behavioral sciences, that is psychology, sociology, anthropology, and linguistics. It can also be used in health and professional fields, for example nursing, medicine, where it's often used, and social work. It can also be used in education and business, for example marketing, management, and human resources. In education, it's used in almost all teaching and school-related research. So the rules of APA: punctuation, placement. For most sentences, the in-text citation goes before the final period, like you can see here, as previously discovered, Smith, 2023. So when it comes to author names, use only the author's last name in the body of the text. Do not include first names or initials unless you are citing two different authors with the same last name. Then for dates, use only the year in the citation, even if the source has a specific month or day. If no date is available, use ND for no date. How to apply APA? Since APA is widely used for research, here is how you can handle different situations. When it comes to multiple sources, if you're citing two different works for one idea, separate them with a semicolon, as you can see here. The direct quote, you must include the page number. For example, the data was inconclusive Hawkins 2020, page 18. When there are two authors, use an ampersand in the parenthesis, but and in the sentence. When it is parenthetical, it is Brown and Lee 2019. When it's narrative, it's Brown and Lee 2019 reported. That's how it is. So now let's look at MLA, which is a modern language association. So MLA is used in humanities and literature. It focuses on the page number to find specific quotes in books. How to apply MLA. So for direct quote, always include the author's last name and the exact page number. For example, the data was inconclusive, Hawkins 18. When it's two authors, list both last names joined by and. For example, it's highly effective, Brown and Lee 42. For three or more authors, list the first author followed by et al. For example, according to the recent findings, Tyler et al. 5. No author. Use a shortened version of the title in quotation marks for articles. That's for articles or web pages, or italics for books. For example, global temperatures are rising, climate change. 2. So for multiple sources, if citing more than one work for the same idea, separate them with a semicolon, just like that. Formatting rules of MLA. No P or PP. Do not write P before the page number in the parentheses. Just use the number itself. No commas. There is no comma between the author's name and the page number. Punctuation placement. The period for the sentence always goes after the closing parentheses. Internet sources. If a website has no page number, include only the author's name or the title. Now let's look at the reference list. So a reference list is a detailed record of all the lists you specifically cited within your document. It appears on the page at the very end of your paper and provides the full publication information such as the author, the date, and the title, so readers can locate the original works themselves. Reference list is the complete list at the end of your paper. It provides a full DNA of the source so the reader can go find it themselves. That's the other way you can define it. So why reference? It is good to reference because it gives credit where it's due. You are essentially tagging the original creator so you do not accidentally steal their intellectual property, which would be plagiarism. Then it strengthens your argument because using a source from a Harvard professor or maybe a NASA scientist makes your work much more convincing than if you just said, I think this is true. Then it helps the reader because if the reader finds a fact in your paper fascinating, your reference allows them to find the original book or article to read more about it. Then it's also for academic integrity. It proves you actually did the research and provides just make things up and didn't just make things up. What did I read? Example of a reference. So this is an example of a reference, but from a journal article. This is how it looks like, and this is an example of a reference from a website. So a reference list is literally a list of references, but with one very specific rule. It must only include sources you actually cited inside your text. So a reference list would look like this, where you put in the different sources where you cited. Yeah, the sources where you actually cited. So you just have to include them at the end of your work. So that is how a reference list is supposed to look like. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you learned something. Bye bye.